morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, the day's support, resistance and pivot levels and the Fibonacci's. It is Sunday, the 17th of October. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the day. Going to see Bitcoin move back through the pivot at 61,124 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 62,077. Plenty of support from the broader market will be needed for Bitcoin to break back through to 61,500 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 62,333 to cap the upside. In the event of another breakout, should see Bitcoin target 65,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 63,286. Bitcoin would need plenty of support, however, to break out from April's swing high 64,829. Failure to move back through the pivot will bring the first major support level of 59,915 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 59,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 58,962. Looking at the MACDs, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, but no immediate signs of a bullish cross, so keep an eye out for that. On the EMAs, 50 has flattened on the 100 and the 200, so need to look out for any further narrowing that would pressure Bitcoin. So key would be to move back through the pivot at 61,124 and through 61,500 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels will come into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 3867 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 3931. Support from the broader market will be needed for Ethereum to break back through to 3900 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 3968.49 to cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ethereum target the second major resistance level at 4033 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 3765 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 3700 levels. Second major support level at 3700 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, but again no immediate signs of a bullish cross. On the EMAs, 50 has also flattened and narrowed marginally on the 100 and the 200. So that's need to look out for any further narrowing that would suggest further downside for Ethereum. So key would be to move through the pivot at 3867 and back through to 3900 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, support levels will come into play. Across the Litecoin against the US dollar, also bearish. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 188 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 191. Support will be needed for Litecoin to break back through to 190s. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 192.62 to cap the upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin target 200 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 196. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 183 back into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should avoid sub 175s. Second major support level at 180 and the 23.6% fib at 178 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD's widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day coming off the back of this morning's pullback, so keep an eye out for direction there. On the MA, 50 is also narrowing on the 100 and the 200, but no immediate signs of a bearish cross, so keep an eye on that as well. So key would be to move through the pivot at 188 and back through to 190s. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, tracking the broader market, bearish start. Going to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 1.1496 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 1.1691. Plenty of support will be needed for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 1.16 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 1.18538 to cap the upside. In the event of another extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP target the second major resistance level at 1.2050 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot will bring the first major support level at 1.1138 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 1.1s. Second major support level sits at 1.0942. Looking at the MACD's widening of the bearish histograms at the turn of the day, coming off the back of yesterday's late pullback and this morning's reversal, so keep an eye out for a further widening there. On the MAs, we're also seeing the 50 narrow on the 100 and the 200, so a further narrowing would bring a possible bearish cross into play. So key would be to move through the pivot at 1.1496 and back through to 1.16 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will be in play.